Hey, what up guys? We're on my PC Battlestations, and a lot of you guys expressed interest in this cement block wall that I got going on back here. When you first saw the $3,400 setup, a lot of you guys want to know how I built it. It actually made its first debut in the Cyberpunk setup, but I kind of did like a little time lapse of it and didn't show exactly how I did it. So what I'm going to do today is show exactly how I made this beast. And it only costs like $100. So because you only need like particle board, you need like screws, and then you need some spray paint. And so all that only costs like $100. So it's fairly cheap. And I only use like a hammer, a drill with a drill bit. And then I used a circular saw, which you can use to kind of cut the grooves in here. So you'll see exactly how I made it. And you obviously need a wall. That's very important. I really like these accent walls because they kind of take your setup to the next level, kind of stands out from the crowd. So let's get started. So the magic behind this cement block wall is a thing called particle board. And what the particle board is kind of like little chips of wood, or basically particles that are basically glued together. And so this is great. So what it'll do, it'll chip away real nice, kind of like cement block wood, kind of around the edges. Chips away real nice like cement block wood. And so I divided my wall that I want into about 3 different sections. So here I'm cutting it to size. And then once each section, I'm gonna have it divided into 3 sections, kind of like a cement block, or kind of like laid on top of each other. So I'll have like 3 cement blocks laid on top of each other. Then what I did is I distressed the edges by hitting it with a hammer. I found that was kind of the best. Just kind of take chunks out of the edges right here and kind of make it look like a worn cement block. And after I beat it up with the hammer, I found that the claw, the other end of the hammer, worked really great to kind of scrape some of those particles off to kind of get that stressed look. And then right here, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the little grooves with a circular saw, or basically kind of cut a groove for each section of where I, have that little look where the 3 cement blocks are stacked on top of each other. So what I can do is I can cut a groove in there, and then I can get in there and use that hammer, use the claw of it, beat it up, and kind of distress it and get those chunks and distress it. And usually when you see cement blocks, usually you see kind of like in each corner that there's a hole where, maybe like a cement screw or something was used to mount the cement block. And so here I'm just kind of making that look by just drilling a hole in each corner, kind of mimicking that look. Then I just took the drill and kind of beat it up, just kind of scraped it all around, kind of drilled some little bit smaller holes, and just kind of beat it up a little bit for that worn look. After you get the particle board all roughed up, then it's time for some spray paint. Here I use the Rust-Oleum hammered spray paint. I think it's in gray or something like that to kind of look like the cement color. And so just apply the needed coats and make sure you get in each one of those little holes so you don't see any kind of the particle board underneath it. So you can put on a couple layers. I think I only did like 1, or put on like a kind of a healthy coat. After you put on your spray paint, obviously let it dry. And then it actually turned out really good. It actually turned out a lot better than I was expecting. These actually look really good. And so we're gonna go ahead and mount it on the wall next. And let's see how it looks on the actual wall. Before I actually put it on the wall, I found my studs that are behind the drywall there that I'm going to screw right into to be able to support it. And so right here I'm just drilling a little pilot hole so I can get a screw in there and kind of pre-drill a screw in there, but not go all the way through. So when I get it up, all I need to do is just go ahead and screw that screw right into the drywall for maximum support. So I used a stack of 2x4s and kind of like a little lift to lift up that particle board over the baseboards. Worked kind of good so I can get it screwed into the wall. So basically all I'm doing here is, since I already found where the studs are at from screwing it in on the top, I'm just making sure that I find where the studs are all the way down so I can go ahead and continue screwing some more screws in to the particle board to mount it on the wall to further hold it and secure it to the wall here. After you get that first one mounted, then you go ahead and mount the rest of the remaining particle boards to the wall using the same way. And for the screws that are in the middle of the particle board, I didn't want the screw head to be sticking out. So what I did is I drilled a countersink hole. Basically it is, the hole that is a little bit bigger than the actual screw head, and just a little bit into the particle board, but not all the way through. So basically the head of the screw kind of sits in there, and and then I'll spray paint it afterwards so you can't really see the screw head itself. And then boom, got yourself a nice little cement block accent wall for just the cost of some particle board, some spray paint, and some screws. And nice accent wall is, you know, nice in the setup, so it's not just kind of a plain wall. I do like accent walls, kind of makes your setup pop. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you do make the cement block wall and incorporate in your setup, make sure you send me pics. I want to take a look at it. My socials are down in the description, so hit me up, slide on into my DMs, and I'd love to take a look at them. All right guys, we'll see you guys in the next one.